Welcome back, everybody, to the show. I am your host, as always, Jay Villain, aka That Villain Jay, and tonight we have a very special treat for you. Yes, we do. Because it's a mere matter of days as I'm recording this until we go back to Ravnica for our next release of our standard set, our newest set, Murder at Karlov Manor. There's a couple of new cards that I want to showcase here and take a look at that I think are going to be pulling off some really interesting combos. One of the biggest ones that I really want to pull off is this new BOROS combo that I've seen kind of thrown around. I kind of thought of it right away too, and everyone's kind of been chatting about it. BOROS seems like it's going to get some really good tools here. So we're going to take a look at a BOROS tokens burn deck that I really think is going to use one of the best new cards out of the new set. So before we do a shakedown breakdown, we show you this theory craft right here. Do something for me, and of course, tenderly hit that like button, gently hit that subscribe button, because if you don't, you'll get attacked by the like and subscribe, which you may or may not know is a YouTube werewolf who will viciously maul you and rip you apart for not liking and subscribing. Join us on a stream live at twitch.tv/thatvillainj during premiere day. It's coming out Tuesday. This whole set is going to be coming out Tuesday the 6th. I will be there live. I will be opening packs on YouTube. I will be building decks on Twitch. Follow all those links. It's going to be really fun, so be ready for that. Come follow me. Check out our Discord. Talk about your decks. Share your builds. And, of course, we are currently on my AetherHub right now. You can follow me on AetherHub. This deck is available for there, and as soon as the game allows you, you can actually export this deck right off my AetherHub right there and get it for yourself. So let me tell you what I'm kind of thinking about with a couple of the new cards, a couple of the old cards. A couple of the new ones. First, we're going to start with Case of the Uneaten Feast. A few people are asking me, what kind of life gain are we going to have going forward? Well, this is not a creature life gain. It's a enchantment case life gain, which is a case is a new type of thing. You can solve cases. This is your enter the battlefield trigger effect life gain, which is a staple in Magic. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. We're going to be putting a lot of creature tokens into play. We want to gain that life. It's going to help us survive quite a bit. To solve this, okay, you can actually solve cases. What does that mean? You've gained 5 or more life this turn. So if we have like 5 creatures enter the battlefield, it'll solve itself, or if we have other methods of gaining life, which we don't really have. I mostly want the early play to trigger life gain, just so we have a consistent flow of life. So we're going to try that out first. Harried Spearguard, not a common card from Eldraine. You may be surprised about it. 1 red, 1/1 haste, human soldier. Not something that everybody plays, but we want it because it is a creature that enters play, and then when it dies, it creates a rat creature token, okay? A black rat creature token. We want creature tokens to come into play. Why do we want all these creature tokens to come into play? What's your end game, Jay? Why are you doing all this? Resolute Reinforcements. Again, you create it, and then another creature token comes into play. Well, let's talk about it. The main crux of this deck is going to be Warleader's Call. Let me really zoom in on this guy right here. Warleader's Call. Aurelia looking very hot, no pun intended. 1 white, 1 red, and 1 enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, Warleader's Call deals 1 damage to each opponent. Okay, you starting to see how dangerous this card is for a 3-drop? If we play Resolute Reinforcements when Warleader's Call is, guess what? That's 2 damage to our opponent. If we have 2 Warleader's Calls out, guess what? That's 4 damage to our opponent. Something like Harried Spearguard dies, it comes into play, it deals a damage, and then it immediately dies, it deals another damage. That's for 1 Warleaders. Everything else is also, on top of everything else, everything gets +1/+1. Warleader's Call is the whole engine of this deck. So that's why you have Resolute Reinforcements. All of a sudden, Resolute Reinforcements turns into a flash that does 2 damage and puts 2 1/1 creatures on the board, which, combining with Case of the Uneaten Feast, would give us 2 life, deal 2 damage to our opponent, and be 2/2. It's really, really cool. I like that. For ramp, we're going to do Charming Scoundrel. We're going to keep with the haste theme. We can draw a card and then discard and then draw in case we need more cards. Create a treasure token to help ramp, or create a wicked roll, which is cool. I like this for hasty and rampy and getting to where we need to go really fast. Destroy Evilers are going to be removal. I'm really not 100% sure what the removal landscape is going to look like. Maybe we're going to want burn. Maybe we're going to want direct removal. Maybe we're going to want other things. I'm just going to stick with what I know and go for Destroy Evil in the removal spot. I'm doing 3. You could do 4. It's perfectly fine. Here we have Warleader's Call, which is, again, going to be the engine. You say, Jay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, Jay. How do we break the engine? How do we make this unbelievably abusable? I'm not happy with it just being a cool card. I want to push it to its maximum. Well, here's where our good friend Anim Pakal Thousand Moon comes into play. We combine her, which is 1 red and 1 white, 1/2. Whenever you attack with 1 or more non-gnome creatures, put a 1/1 counter on Pakal. Then create X 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. So she doesn't even need to attack. As long as anybody attacks, originally we're going to get a 1/1 counter on her. Someone is going to get, she's either going to create 1, 2, 3, 4 creatures as she goes. Imagine if she gets like +3 on her and she spits out 4 1/1 creatures. That's 4 damage even before we attacked, and they're all jazzed up by +1/+1. Anim Pakal pushing aggro, pushing very aggressively with any other hasty creatures. Like you put down her and then you put down Harry to attack and generate those tokens. It starts to get ridiculous. It starts to see, okay, well, now we're putting down 3, 4, 5 creatures a turn. Let's push it even more. Adeline, you know we gotta have Adeline Resplendent Cathar. Whenever you attack, for each opponent, create a 1/1 human creature token that's tapped and attacking. She can help kick in. She's not as good as Anim Pakal. We're going to mostly focus on her, but I like her running back up for more Croach token kicks. Jay, that's not enough for me. I want it to be even broken even more. I want to even kill them before I even touch them. We're getting there, guys. We're going to get to the ridiculous combos that we can pull here. Villainy, Streetwise Lookout. Maybe you'd like your creatures to be unblockable. Maybe you'd like double the amount of triggers to go off. Here's where we start getting fun. This is a new one from Murder at Karlov Manor. 1 white and 2. Villainy, Streetwise Lookout. Basically, what she does is creatures you control with power 2 or less can't be blocked by creatures with power 3. So all your little guys, all your 1/1 creatures or your 2/2 creatures can't be blocked by big creatures. Then, here we go. If an ability of a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, this ability triggers an additional time. That means for 2 turns, Anim Pakal is going to trigger twice, right? Because she's going to get 2 1/1 counters on her and then trigger twice. Then she's going to do it again because her power is only going to be 2. Or it's going to, the first one is actually going to go off because it's actually going to be 3 power when she goes off. So it'll cause her to trigger twice. It'll cause Adeline to trigger twice. An ability, something like this, Resolute Reinforcements, all of these things will go off twice. Any of these small guys will go off twice. Guess what all those token generations do? Hey, here's Mondrak Glory Dominus, Phyrexian Horror, 2 white and 2. If 1 or more tokens were created, create twice that many. When we're creating twice as many from Anim Pakal, guess what we're doing? We're doing twice as many hits from Warleader's Call. All of a sudden, she puts out 4 tokens, and that's 4 damage. Jay, that's not broken enough. I want it even broken more. I want to absolutely break people's will. Ogre, Axonil, Deepest Might. I got you, man. You put down Ogre. You put down Mondrak. You put down Warleader's Call. Guess what? If a red source would deal damage of non-combat damage less than Ogre Axonil's power equal to that source's deal damage, that source deals damage equal to Ogre Axonil's power instead. What does that mean? It means that when we hit a trigger event, when we do damage with Warleader's Call, we do 1 damage, it goes up to 4. So anytime 1 creature comes into play, anytime that 1 creature triggers off, if we hit even 1, like Resolute Reinforcements puts 2 creatures on the board, if that triggers Warleader's Call with Ogre Axonil on the board, we've done 8 damage. That's just with 1 Resolute Reinforcements, 1 Warleaders, and 1 Ogre Axonil. If you have these combos up, and running, you will get ridiculous effects off, because each time that Warleaders hits, it will do 4 damage, and you can make it hit 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times in a row. over and over and over and over again. And it's just gonna go on and on like that. We're finishing off with Burn Down the House in case we need a kind of a slow sweeper. We can of course create 3 Red Devil creature tokens. With Mondrak out, we would create 6, which of course would trigger that 6 times, or potentially even more. So we can create the Devil tokens and swing in, and then do even more damage with Oger if they explode, or we can sweep the board for 5. That's what we're looking at right there. Battlefield Forge, Plain, Sundown Pass, pretty even stuff. Restless Bivouac, they're gonna want to kill your stuff. They're gonna want to kill your creatures. That's why in the sideboard I want Helping Hand, I want Return Triumphant, because they're absolutely gonna try to kill. Adeline on him. Mondrak, they're gonna try to kill all these creatures that are kind of essential for this engine running. It's a little harder to kill War Leaders. So yeah. Charming Scoundrel, I expect to draw a couple of cards with. We want to make sure we get this engine up and running. I think that maybe a little bit more card draw in this, maybe something like anything that's like draw 2 cards and get them from exile or something like that. Any one of those is going to be fine. But Return Triumphant and Helping Hand to get those cards that get killed or board wiped returned onto the board, that's going to be key. So again, really, really busted, broken kind of combos we're running here. For your pleasure. We're going to be talking about getting as many tokens out, hitting War Leaders as many times as we can, Anna Pakal as many times as we can, swarming the board. If you don't kill them with the triggers or the pings, you can just swarm them with the creature tokens and win that way. The mana curve is really nice, really easy between 26 and 28. It only costs 8 mythic rares. It's not that bad on your rares. A lot of the new stuff isn't too expensive, shouldn't be too bad. 24 lands altogether. That's what we're looking at right there. Pretty decent curve. So if you like this deck, if you like what you see in this build, if you think you have any other good ideas, if you like something else like this, a nice Boros aggro with just a janky combo on the back end, it's going to be fun. I'm probably going to run a version of this or a very close version of this come Tuesday. Make sure you're there. I've been Jay Villain. You've been great. Thank you for coming for my TED Talk about this new and interesting deck build that we're going to be looking at in the coming days. Again, you can find it on AetherHub. Thank you all for coming. I'm super excited. Tell me, are you excited for Karlov too? I am. I'm getting there. I've got ready to open 120 decks, and we'll build it. If we build it, we will burn. All right, guys. I'll talk to you next one. This was a little theory crafting. If you like this, leave a comment. Make sure you like the video. Adios.